clay and sand and silt, grain by grain, her eyes focused on suggestions indescribably ambivalent. When she finished and set the piece apart, one saw in stone a creature so complete, even to the airiness of its antennae, that it rivaled something living. From an inchoate maze of creatures alive in the early Paleozoic, she released animal after animal, turned them loose for others to brood over. And from these creatures, the systematists cantilevered names, a precarious litany. It was hard to believe that among things so trenchant, despite their silence, names so bloodless would adhere. What was certain was that from a piece of stone in which a creature might reside, guessing simply from the way light broke on its surface, Jane Waddell would pry an animal wild as a swamp night. The shadow across Jane Waddell's life did not come from living alone, a condition that offered her a peace she esteemed like fresh water, nor from being patronized for her great gift by people who avoided her company. It was thrown by the geometry of a life her professional colleagues implied was finely innocuous. No one, perhaps no one in the world, could make the essential pieces of the first puzzle of earthly life so apparent. But in the eyes of her associates, she wandered thoughtlessly outside any orthodoxy in discussing fossils. She strayed from recognized subdivisions of geological time, so people had trouble agreeing on the value of her ideas. Many tried to give meaning to what she did, but because she would neither insist upon nor defend any one theoretical basis for her thought, she was ultimately regarded as a technician only. The pattern in her work, what propelled her to the next thing and then the next, was the joy of revelation. She saw no greater purpose in life than to reveal and behold. What Jane Waddell rendered was conveyed solemnly from the room in which she worked by people who behaved as though they bore off brittle sheaves of Fourth Dynasty papyrus. In adjoining rooms, each creature was photographed, matched to a technical description she provided, inventoried, and given space in a protective case. Frequently, her exacting descriptions were marked for the attention of one of several researchers who, from this alien menagerie, sought to fathom an ecology of early seafloors. Jane Waddell's memory for any particular fossil was thorough and unconfused, and she understood how the details in this complex ramulose array of images were related through extraordinary subtleties of shape, but she was rarely consulted. Systematists might ponder at their computer screens for weeks, looking for ecological relationships Jane Waddell could have articulated in a moment, if anyone had conveyed to her how they anticipated fitting everything, even these most rarefied forms of early life, together. She listened politely to urgings that she concentrate on figuring out taxonomic sequences, or that she stick, say, to the Middle Silurian for a while, but she didn't follow through. She hoped instead someone might ask what the difference was between 2 trilobites of the same species, where one had been extricated from its matrix with the music of Bach in her ears, the other with Haydn. She wanted to say that there were differences. For her, the precision the systematists sought in their genealogies, even with a foundation as exquisite as the one she provided, was a phantom, a seduction. In an empty lot on West 75th, one that had been cleared of its building and then abandoned to grow up in weeds, feral grasses, and ailanthus trees, Jane Waddell occasionally saw phantoms. It was a peripheral sensation, not anything viewed directly, but only glimpsed, like a single bird high up disappearing between 2 buildings. The existence of the lot exerted a pressure upon her, like a wind growing imperceptibly but steadily more forceful. The lot was separated from the sidewalk by a gateless chain-link fence and shadowed east and west by windowless walls of brick. To the north, it was closed off by a high gray-board fence, one ailanthus in the far western